I live in a small town in Ohio and I work from home full time. One Thursday night, during a light rainstorm, I was completely alone. My roommate had gone home to visit family for the weekend, and I was looking forward to having the whole place to myself. No distractions, just me, some popcorn, and a horror movie marathon. Around 11 p.m., as thunder started rolling in deeper, I was halfway through watching the thing when I heard something strange. A dull thud, like a heavy object shifting downstairs. I paused the movie and listened. Another thud. This time it came from the basement. I live in an older house, and the basement is one of those unfinished ones with exposed brick walls, steel support poles, rusted shelves filled with random junk, and pipes that creak like they're alive. We almost never go down there, except to check the fuse box. But this time, the noise was too clear, too intentional. Curious but cautious, I grabbed a flashlight from under the sink and made my way to the basement door. I flipped the light switch. Nothing. The bulb was dead, or the power was out down there. I opened the door and stepped onto the old wooden steps. Each one creaked like it hadn't been stepped on in years. The air was thick, damp, and smelled like earth and metal. I swept the light across the shelves. Nothing unusual. Then I noticed the back wall, the old wooden door that led to a small sub-cellar we never used. It was open. That door was always locked. Always. The room got colder instantly. I backed up slowly, heart pounding. Then I heard it. A sharp inhale, ragged, wet, like someone catching their breath, from inside the sub-cellar. I bolted up the stairs, slammed the basement door shut, and locked it. Pushed the kitchen table in front of it. My breathing was ragged. I felt something was down there. I didn't sleep that night. Around 3 a.m., I heard something dragging along the floor beneath me, a slow, scraping sound, then a soft bump against the ceiling below the living room, directly under me. In the morning, I FaceTimed my best friend and made him stay on the line while I checked the basement again. The door to the sub-cellar was now closed and locked, padlocked. I didn't own a padlock. To this day, I don't know what opened that door, or who, or what put the padlock there afterward. I've since moved out, but sometimes I still dream about that dragging sound, and I always wake up right at 3:17 a.m. A few years ago, I moved into a one-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles. It wasn't much, but it was all mine. No roommates, no noise. It was quiet. I had a solid routine: work, gym, dinner, and then I'd crash by 10. One Friday night, I came home later than usual. The rain had started on my drive back, and by the time I got to my door, it was pouring. The hallway lights were dim and flickering, typical for that building. I fumbled with the keys, got inside, and locked the door behind me. My place was dark and quiet, exactly how I left it, or so I thought. I tossed my keys onto the kitchen counter, like always, and went to change clothes. 10 minutes later, I came back to grab my phone. The keys weren't there. I stopped and looked around. The counter was clean. I checked my jacket, my pants, the floor. Nothing. I turned on every light, checked every drawer, cabinet, under the couch, even in the fridge. I was starting to feel crazy. Finally, I walked back to the kitchen, and there they were, sitting neatly in the middle of the counter, lined up side by side, perfectly straight. I live alone. I grabbed a knife and walked through every room with my back against the wall. Closets, empty. Windows, locked. Front door, still locked. I sat up all night in the living room, knife in hand, eyes on the counter. Around 3:45 a.m., I heard the doorknob jiggle, once, gently. I didn't move, I didn't breathe. Then, silence. I waited until sunrise before checking the peephole. Nothing. But on the floor outside my door, a single house key, not mine, and I never found out whose it was. It was one of those eerie, perfect storms. Soft thunder in the distance, light rain, no wind, quiet. The whole block was asleep. I was up late finishing a paper for grad school. Around 2:30 a.m., I got up to use the bathroom. I flipped the light on, did my thing, and turned it off before heading back to my bedroom. As I walked down the hallway, I saw a soft glow behind me. The bathroom light was back on. I turned around, slightly annoyed. Maybe I hadn't hit the switch hard enough. I went back, turned it off again. 5 minutes later, click. It was on again. This time, I stood in the doorway. The mirror was fogged. There was no steam, no heat. The air was cold, but someone had breathed on the mirror. And then, 3 words appeared. Get out now. They formed slowly, as if someone was still tracing them while I watched. I backed out of the room, heart racing. I slammed the door and ran to grab my phone. When I came back, the light was off. I opened the door slowly, holding my phone up like a weapon. The mirror was clean. No words, no fog. I locked myself in my room the rest of the night. But at 4:17 a.m., I heard the faucet turn on. When I opened the bathroom door in the morning, the mirror was fogged again. New words this time. You didn't listen.